Hello and welcome to a dev vlog for my game Trash Dash. In this video I'll be going over a development process for my game. But what is Trash Dash? It's a slapstick comedy virtual reality cooking experience for all the family. It comes with ever-changing ingredients, customers and circumstances for the player to deal with. Within Trash Dash, the player plays as a raccoon chef who's set up shop in the back of a bin lorry. The player's task is to turn the trash from within the city into weird and wonderful creations for customers. These weird and wonderful creations which the player makes are in exchange for cash. The cash can then be used to upgrade the bin lorry and upgrade the kitchen within the player plays. Unfortunately, this wasn't my first concept. It all started with the idea to make a fun and interesting game for all the family within VR. With lots of different ideas jotted down, I thought I wanted to make an educational cooking game to teach kids how to cook within a safe environment and not actually needing to make food in real life. Once I had sorted the initial concept for this game, I blueprinted different testable mechanics to see if I had proof of my concept. In addition to this, I carried out lots of playtesting to help me be able to find the critical parts of my project which I wanted to keep and what I wanted to throw away. The primary focus of these playtests was to see if the player understood the different mechanics that I blueprinted and how they interacted within the VR space, helping me know what the player feels comfortable with. The feedback which I gathered from these playtests were amazing. They allowed me to reflect on the different iterations and highlight all the things which I'd learned from working within VR, being able to see if players connected with my core design. Unfortunately, the players weren't connecting with my game. I felt like they weren't having fun with all the feedback I was getting being a bit meh. They understood what they needed to do within the game, but they just weren't having fun. The players having fun wasn't something which I overly thought about when designing. The mechanics which I'd been able to implement were simple: cutting items, picking up items, and cooking items. All things which are needed for a cooking VR experience. I didn't feel like my game had a unique selling point. This was reiterated from one of the playtest feedback when one player said, "It's okay, but it just feels a bit like a Gordon Ramsay simulator." Now, if I was aiming for a Gordon Ramsay simulator, this would be amazing feedback, but I wanted something which would be fun for all the family. So I needed to go back to the drawing board and think of something new. I found it quite hard rescoping my project at this stage. I think I hit a bit of a brick wall, and the ideas weren't really free-flowing. By a matter of coincidence, when I was scrolling through TikTok, I had loads of raccoon videos pop up on my For You page, which gave me the idea that I wanted to make a raccoon game, but I also didn't want to throw away all the stuff which I'd learned up until this point. So I decided to merge the two ideas together and make a raccoon cooking game. Over the next couple of weeks, I rescoped my project, trying to get the best raccoon cooking game I could possibly get, but also keeping hold of the core mechanics which I'd already worked on. I really wanted to try and think outside the box of this. How can these raccoon videos which kept on popping up all over Twitter, TikTok, anything which I could think of, how can I make that into a fun game for the player, and how can I make that into a fun cooking game? The answer: to make some truly wonderful creations for a player to make, whether that be wrap burgers, raw fish burgers, trash burgers, truly awful creations, but also a truly fun experience for the player. Over the next couple of weeks of development, I probably spent a bit too much time trying to model characters and assets, but I really wanted to make something properly funky, to make it as much of a unique experience for the player as possible. Thankfully, this came through in the next playtest, when playtesters got their first look at all the characters which I've been making. This was wonderful to see, proving my new vision of my game working. As much as modelling all these assets was amazing. It was something which I didn't account for, was burnout. I was trying to do way too much in a short space of time, probably being way too confident in my ability to turn around a project quickly and try and make it look like nothing had changed, and this was a project which I started with from the get-go. It wasn't, and it really did take its toll on me and the game. But this was a great lesson to learn, turning out to be for the best, allowing me to reflect on my iterations and what I had in the game, truly cutting out some of the stuff which I didn't need to work on. Doing this allowed me to rethink on some of my original mechanics which I put in place from the first prototype. The plan at the time was to model everything myself, making every possible type of burger combination. Unfortunately, this wasn't going to be humanly possible. I was spending way too much time on it. The minimum requirement, if I would have tried doing this for just 14 possible ingredients, would have been 14 to the 14 power of it, which would have been something stupid amount of different combinations which I would have needed to have made. So what I ended up doing was looking at my blueprint in Knowledge and try and refresh it and think of something which could be an amazing solution to it. I was able to do this by creating a bun asset which would register every ingredient and take every ingredient and make it a component of the bun. This meant I could make any possible burger combination. After spending a lot of time refreshing my blueprint in Knowledge, making it as best as possible, I wanted to make it as much of an authentic experience for the player by implementing all my characters, which I'd spent a big chunk of time making, as NPCs and customers, which will give a player orders, and then the player will be able to claim rewards. The feedback which I was starting to get from the playtest was that I was finding out that the players weren't really feeling like it was an authentic experience, which meant the players needed to feel more interaction from the game when they were being rewarded with something, make it a bit more real. The way which I did this was by adding a till as well as some sound design. This is when the project really started to take shape. I didn't realise how much the game would benefit from adding some street sounds to some sizzling on the grill when the player placed an object on it. It really started to feel like an authentic cooking experience, and I started to love playing it. I needed to learn the hard way through the development process of this game that it's one step forward and 5 steps back. There'll always be a way that playtesters will manage to break my game, and they'll always find a way to surprise me if something doesn't work or if something needs to be fixed after playtesting. These are all lessons which turned out for the best, with the final playtesting being a great success and everyone seemed to love it. By no means is this the final build of the project, it's still a work in process, but the development and all the playtests which have proven my concept out. Knowing all this, I can now say, thankfully, it's not just a Gordon Ramsay simulator. I'm very excited to keep working on Trash Dash and see where the future holds for this project. I've now uploaded it for people to play online and give me feedback. I can't wait to see what feedback I get. Thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to go and download Trash Dash now. Thank you for watching. Over and out.